Guys, I wanted to make a quick video about Greenovia, and I actually did this video a couple weeks ago, and I'm just pulling them out of the window here. I will show you more in just a second. And I decided to try filming it on YouTube because I was uploading a video, and if I went off of this screen, the video would stop uploading, and I wanted to record right then. So I did it on YouTube, and I guess YouTube assumes that people are going to forget to turn their camera side to side, and so they make it automatically do that. So I videoed this all side to side, and when I went to play it back, it was up and down because it automatically rotates it, and it was just too hard to see everything. So I've had to wait a couple weeks until these guys need to be watered again. And right now, I have them all in separate pots because I've had them for, let's see, this batch here I've probably had for 9 months-ish. And they were all dormant when they arrived. And if you don't know about Greenovias, when they go dormant, they form a tight little ball. So, and when they go into their active phase, they open up like this, like a rose. So I had them all in a pot together through the whole dormancy period, but when they started opening up, they were a lot bigger than I thought they were going to be, and they were just getting all over each other, and I didn't want them to be crowded. So I'm going to wait until they all open up. I'll move these up here too. Wait until they all open up nice and wide, and then I can plant them all together when I know about how much room that they're going to need when they open and close. And then I can put some cute rocks around them for when they close up. I think they are adorable when they're closed. A lot of people like them in this open phase a lot better. And they are, you know, really pretty. But all right, this video is going to get really long. When I water these guys, I put them in a tray like this and just put water in it and let them set until they just soak up soil or water, sorry, all the way through. And the reason I do it this way with these guys in particular, it's a great way to water any succulent if you want to, but with these guys in particular, they tend, if you water from the top, it pools in the centers here, and it really doesn't evaporate off well. And it will make discoloration if sunlight gets on it with water in it. This one here, it's not too bad, and I can take a Q-tip hopefully and wipe it off, but in the center here, there's some just hard water kind of deposits there that you can see, and that's just from water dripping down. Let's see, what else can I tell you about these guys right quick to make this video a bit more informative. These guys are from the Crassulaceae family, which is obviously the same family that Crassula come from, but these guys are not in the Crassula family. They're actually in the Aeonium family. And so if you have Aeoniums, the care is pretty similar. If you just think of them kind of as a low-growing Aeonium. If you don't have Aeoniums, these guys like, they like to be pretty dry when they're dormant, like a lot of the other succulents, but when they're actively growing, they like a bit more moisture than a lot of the other succulents like. That's true for Aeonium in general, but these guys in particular, I've noticed they use up a lot of energy opening up, and they like to get a good, nice drink ever so often. These guys are native to the Canary Islands, and they're actually getting pretty rare in the wild, and they're becoming endangered because of overharvesting and then just tourists coming in and disrupting their natural environment. These guys don't flower very often, most of them, and most of them are monocarpic, which means they die after they flower. So as exciting as it might be to get blooms, it's not as exciting if you know your plant is going to die. Typically they will pup and make babies before they bloom so that there's someone to leave behind, so you don't have to be too sad. There are some varieties that don't die when they're bloomed, when they bloom. I'm trying to remember what the one variety is, but anyways, it blooms a bit more frequently and it doesn't die when it blooms. They like to be crowded, and like I was saying before, I have them all in separate pots right now, except for this small variety. You can see these guys were a little bit slower coming out of dormancy, and they're just opening up. But they like to be crowded. They like to share rooting hormones with each other. It really helps promote growth, and it helps them be healthy. It's better to have these guys in too small of a pot than in too big of a pot. They like to be slightly root bound also, which is a good thing to keep in mind. Aeoniums in general and Greenovia in particular don't like really hot or dry weather like a lot of succulents do, because they're native to the Canary Islands. It's a lot more kind of tropical weather, not so much really dry desert. The exception is that in the winter they require almost no water unless you're in a really dry, like exceptionally dry environment. Sometimes the exception for me, I'm just switching these around so you can see the different ones, is that we have wood heat in the winter and the air gets really dry, and so I give them just a little bit of water, but not nearly as much, not thorough soaks, you know, just enough to keep the root hairs alive, kind of. And then you know that they're coming out of the dormancy when they start opening up. They look kind of like an egg before they open, and because of the time of year, I don't have any that are dormant to show you. But I'll make another video when these guys are dormant. I guess I should have done that before they woke up this time, but I didn't. They don't like a ton of sun, like really harsh sun in the summer. They like really bright light, and a southern facing window is great if you're in a northern environment. But they don't like really harsh, hot, dry conditions. If you don't want them to go dormant in the summer, you can keep them in the shade and kind of cool. That's what makes them go dormant, is the hotter, harsher weather, and they close up, which protects them and from all the harshness, and then they open back up when the weather gets more mild. But you can, like I said, you can trick them into not going dormant if you want to, but it's not the healthiest thing for the plant. These plants are designed to have their cycles for a reason, and going dormant really helps them store up energy and grow and make babies, which is what all of us want with our plants, I think. Yeah, the growth season is, for these guys, is from winter to spring. Right now it is October, probably the 20-something. I'm not exactly sure what today is, but it is mid-October. And you can see they're waking up all nice. But when the temperature drops, that's their cue to wake up. So if you have them in a house where the temperature kind of stays the same all the time, they may have some issues. But they like to come alive when the temperature is somewhere between 65 and 75. And they like it to be a bit more damp when they wake up. In the winter, when they're growing actively, I water anytime it's dry, an inch or two down, and you can either go by sight, or you can stick your finger in them, or use a moisture meter. Any of those are good options. You can also tell by the feel of the pot a lot of times. And this guy, the top is all dark. He's a little lopsided, but the top is all dark here, so he's good and soaked. So I'm going to take this one out and replace it with this guy. The ones with bigger root systems soak it up a little bit faster than some of the other ones, and the smaller pots obviously but this guy isn't that one I just put in, and these aren't quite soaked yet. These guys like a sandier kind of soil, aeoniums in general do, rather than typical succulent soil. I use some sand and vermiculite and pumice and coconut husk in mine, and they're loving it. But I generally like to keep plants, you know, for a couple of years before I give too many recommendations on them. So I'm not giving conclusive like thumbs up for my soil mixture that these guys are in right now. But as of the last 9 months or so, they've been quite happy. But in general, they like a bit more sand because it holds a bit more moisture. Some of the other succulent soils can be dry out a little bit too fast. It can be a bit too gritty for the aeoniums. They like a lot of air around their roots. That's great. And if you plant them in a grittier mixture, it can be fine as long as you remember to water them more. But a little bit of sand, they definitely like it. I think that's all I can think of right this moment. They have a little powdery coating on their leaves that a lot of the succulents have, and so that's one of the reasons I don't like watering from the top also, because if you get the hard water little deposits, when you clean them off with alcohol, then you'll kind of have a shiny spot there instead of the nice kind of powdery coating. And that powdery coating is to protect them from the sun. It's like a natural sunscreen. Well, it's not like a natural sunscreen. It is a natural sunscreen. It's a natural powdered coating that a lot of succulents have to protect themselves in the hotter, harsher months. Alrighty, so that is all I have to tell you today about these guys, the lovely Greenovia from the Aeonium family. And they're becoming more popular and slowly a bit more easy to find. I'm not sure how popular this video is going to be because I'm not sure how many people have these. But because I can't seem to find videos on them in particular. So I thought I would make one in case other people are growing. So if you're growing these guys, leave some comments below. And also, if you have videos that you would like me to make, I have so many succulents. I don't make videos of a lot of the more ordinary ones because I figure people aren't that interested in the more average ones. But if that is not the case, please let me know. Because I'm always happy to make a quick video while I'm watering or something like this. You guys know I'm not highly professional or anything like that, but if it helps you, then that makes me super excited. So I will let you go for now, and happy growing, you guys.